everyone, it's me again. It's been a while since I've made a video. I am aware of that. Truth be told, I completely forgot that I had this channel with anything posted on it. And I just watched the 3 videos that I did post and I was like, oh, I posted stuff. That's interesting that I actually decided to post anything. I was entertained personally, so I'm going to continue trying to make videos, but my plan for today was actually to make an ASMR video because I want to be quiet and I want to provide to the community that has provided me with so much rest over the past 5 years of my life, probably. So, despite me not having much of a setup at all for this, I'm going to read you some of my favorite poems in the style of an ASMR video. And hopefully, if anyone sees this, you will like it. If not, I apologize in advance. So, in no particular order, I'm going to begin reading some poems in my closet. I don't really know how copyright works, but I have a feeling it only matters if you're making money off of something. And in the case of my sorry YouTube channel, I am not making any money from anything. So I don't think it matters. Nonetheless, we'll be starting with somebody whose copyright has already run out and is now in the public domain. Robert Frost. Okay, so this is After Apple Picking by Robert Frost. My long two-pointed ladder's sticking through a tree toward heaven still, and there's a barrel that I didn't fill beside it, and there may be 2 or 3 apples I didn't pick upon some bough, but I am done with apple picking now. Essence of winter, sleep is on the night. The scent of apples I am drowsing off. I cannot rub the strangeness from my sight. I got from looking through a pane of glass. I skimmed this morning from the drinking trough and held against the world of hoary grass. It melted, and I let it fall and break. But I was well upon my way to sleep before it fell, and I could tell what form my dreaming was about to take. Magnified apples appear and disappear, stem end and blossom end, and every fleck of russet showing clear. My instep arch not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of a ladder round. I feel the ladder sway as the bough bends, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load on load of apples coming in. For I have had too much of apple picking. I am overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. There were 10,000 fruit to touch, cherish in hand, lift down, and not let fall for all that struck the earth, no matter if not bruised or spiked with stubble, went surely to the cider apple heap, as of no worth. One can see what will trouble this sleep of mine, whatever sleep it is. Were he not gone, the woodchuck would say whether it's like his long sleep, as I describe its coming on, or just some human sleep. It's September, so I feel like apple picking is appropriate topic for poems. We should do one more Robert Frost before putting him away. But not a particularly long one, I don't think. He used to be my favorite poet. Now I find him kind of boring, but he's still a good one. If only for the purposes of familiarizing yourself with classic poetry. I want to find the one that's really popular. Mending Wall. We'll do Mending Wall. I love Mending Wall. Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen groundswell under it, spills the upper boulders into the sun, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair, where they have left not one stone on a stone. But they would have the rabbit out of hiding, to please the yelping dogs, the gaps I mean. No one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line, and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go, to each the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are loaves, and some so nearly balls, we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side, it comes to little more. There where it is we do not need the wall. He is all pine, and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across. And eat the cones under his pines, I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, it asked to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say elves to him, but it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only, in the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having the thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. Very popular. Now we're going to do something more contemporary and bring out Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass by Lana Del Rey. I love when they include photography or drawings or cool stuff like that inside books. I think that's very cool. my third phone in the waistband of my leggings. Only you have this number. 6 plus vibrates with your own ringtone. I smile when I hear simulated children laughing, 'cause I know it's you. It's the little things that make me smile. I keep them just for myself. I like you so much, but it makes me nervous when you don't call. Under my breath I say, don't make me be resilient. I so want to be soft. If you let me be myself, you'll be the first one who ever did. I think that one is actually so sweet. It's so simple, but that's the end of the poem. It's very short. I think it's so sweet and sincere for such a simple little poem about a ringtone. Like the last part, don't make me be resilient. I so want to be soft. If you let me be myself, you will be the first one who ever did. Like there's something very relatable in that, I think. Probably enough Lana Del Rey, because I'm pretty sure she would maybe not like me to read her book on a YouTube channel that nobody watches. Maybe. I get that vibe from her sometimes. Not that I know her. The next poem that we're going to read is going to be something from the selected poems of Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches on the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Here's one that I personally really like. My life closed twice before its close. It yet remains to see if immortality unveil a third event to me, so huge, so hopeless to conceive, as these that twice befell. Parting is all we know of heaven, and all we need of hell. Okay, I'm gonna pick a random one and just go with it. One need not be a chamber to be haunted. One need not be a house. The brain has corridors surpassing material place. Far safer of a midnight meeting, external ghost, than an interior confronting that whiter host. Far safer through an abbey gallop, the stones a chase, than moonless one's own self-encounter in lonesome place. Ourself behind ourself concealed should startle most. Assassin hid in our apartment, be horror's least. The prudent carries a revolver, he bolts the door, o'erlooking a superior spectre more near. Don't know what that one's about, but I like it. Okay, now we're going to read a little bit from Frank O'Hara's Meditations in an Emergency. This one is my favorite one, though. I even dog-eared the page like a savage. It's for Grace after a party. do not always know what I am feeling. Last night in the warm spring air while I was blazing my tirade against someone who doesn't interest me, it was love for you that set me afire. And isn't it odd? For in rooms full of strangers my most tender feelings writhe and bear the fruit of screaming. Put out your hand. Isn't there an ashtray suddenly there, beside the bed? And someone you love enters the room and says, wouldn't you like eggs a little different today? And when they arrive, they are just plain scrambled eggs, and the warm weather is holding. I love that one. Okay. If you are still sticking with us tonight, thank you. I hope you've liked the poems that I've selected so far. To close out, I'm going to be reading you part of a poem I found through a Cultural Weekly email that I get. But I forgot to save the poet's name, so I'm going to write it up on the screen and probably put a link to the Cultural Weekly post down below. Again, not that anybody is going to see this video, but just in case, this poet deserves all the credit. Amazing work. Anyways, I'm only reading a part of this poem because I actually didn't take a picture of the entire poem either, so I don't even know what it's called. But it's great. Let me just be quiet and read the poem to you now. And colors absent continents of origin. The house on Spruce, with its 2 rooms for 7 people, never promised more than what it first contained, but taught us to create space. Knees on the green carpet with a notebook split open on the edge of a mattress. Prayer and sewing taking up at the kitchen table. Rough shingles, drumming rain in gutters. In a way, a house never stops protecting us. I can still see its lamp shorting out, and my family walking in the dark, feeling our way around, doing pretty well. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I have a lot of other poems and pieces of poems that I like, but I am sleepy and I want to be able to edit this video. So, I bid you